in Greenwich Village, and we're doing a special walking tour. We're going to visit all places associated with Bob Dylan, like check out where he used to live, where he hung out, where he got inspiration for some of his songs. So it's going to be lots of fun. Extra good. So this is our first stop on our tour. We're in front of White Horse Tavern on the corner of Hudson Street and West 11th. And this bar is historic. It's been in business since 1880, and it's actually one of the few wood frame structures left in New York City. And one of the things that makes this bar very famous, and aside from it being open since forever, is that it was frequented by the British poet Dylan Thomas. And in fact, it was the last place he drank at before he died in 1953. And the interesting thing about Bob Dylan is that not only did he come here with his girlfriend Lortel and listen to like rebel Irish songs, but he took his stage name Bob Dylan after Dylan Thomas. So yeah, we think that's really pretty cool, and it's a great place to check out. Has lots of its original interior. We can't go inside now because only outdoor seating is available right now. The Lucille Lortel Theater on Christopher Street by Bedford was called the Theatre de Lis, and in 1963 Bob Dylan saw the Brecht three-penny opera, and he was really inspired by the song Pirate Jenny, and he started experimenting with his own music, and that led him to write the songs The Times They Are Changing, Mr. Tambourine Man, and A Harder Rain's A Gonna Fall. Of 1 Sheridan Square, which Bob Dylan, when he came to New York, he briefly lived on the 4th floor with then folk mother Mickey Isaacson, and 1 floor below is where Suze Rotolo's mom lived, and that's how he crossed paths with Suze Rotolo and began dating her. So we found out something really cool. Not only did Bob Dylan live in this building, but also it was the site of Cafe Society, which was the first non-segregated club to be founded in American history, and was founded in 1938. And in fact, in 1944, Billie Holiday had her debut performing Strange Fruit right here. Extra good. Jones Street, which is a really tiny street between West 4th and Bleecker. And if you're a Bob Dylan fan, you'll immediately recognize it because this is the place where Bob Dylan stood with his then girlfriend Suze Rotolo and shot the cover for the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan album. It was right here, looking this way. I want to show you guys the album cover right there. The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. By the way, you can see our video from when we went inside this record store called The Record Runner. I'm going to put the link above.
The other big thing about the store is the obvious thing I think I mentioned about Bob Dylan, the fact that this picture's taken right outside the store. So we get a lot of tourists that come here just to take their picture outside, and then they
of course,
and then they buy this record, of course. So.
Music Inn on West 4th Street was founded in 1958 and it specializes in musical instruments from all around the world. And they have special instruments like the didgeridoo and the zither, and it's a really cool place. It's from floor to ceiling musical instruments are found. And Bob Dylan was a customer here because he lived just a few doors down the street. We're going to show you where now. This is 161 West 4th Street, where Bob Dylan lived and wrote Positively 4th Street. So cool. Now we're in front of Matt Humanoff Guitars. Well, what was Matt Humanoff Guitars on Bleecker Street right by Morton. And this famous guitar shop was founded in 1965. And Bob Dylan used to come and, get some guitars here and just, try some guitars out. And in fact, the owner, Matt Humanoff, told us a great story about one day a kid had come in and he was, he just took a guitar. Matt used to let the customers come in and play them maybe and try them out before buying one. So the kid came in and he just started playing guitar, and Matt said, really he wasn't very good, and he was almost ready to just tell him, okay, you've had enough, time to move on. But just right then, Bob Dylan came in and he picked up a guitar and he started jamming with the kid. And then Bob Dylan left, and eventually the kid left, and that was that. And then a week or two later, the kid comes back in. And he says to Matt Humanoff, "Oh, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. I'm so excited. I just saw, so-and-so at Washington Square Park playing." And Matt's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it, because you didn't even realize that one of the most famous musicians was standing playing right next to you just last week, and you're all excited about this nobody that you saw in Washington Square Park." So we thought that was a really great story. Matt also told us that he sold a vintage Stratocaster that once belonged to Dylan for $75,000 from this store. So now we're on the back side of 105 MacDougal Street. We're actually on Minetta Street in front of Panchito's Mexican restaurant. Before it was Panchito's, it was a cafe called The Commons. And according to the late folk singer David Blue, he and Bob Dylan were having coffee at The Commons when Dylan started scribbling and strumming the song that would eventually become Blowin' in the Wind. So that's a really cool story, and yeah, we wanted to show you this great little street. Now we're in front of Cafe Wa, right on the corner of MacDougal and Minetta Lane. And Cafe Wa is the first place when Robert Zimmerman, which is like the real name of Bob Dylan, when he first came to New York City, and the first place he went was Cafe Wa. And that was on January 23rd, 1961. Went inside and he met the MC that was there, because it was like a coffee shop and a performance space, and he met the MC, and the MC asked him, "Hey, what do you do?" And he said, "Oh, I play guitar and I sing and I play harmonica." And he's like, "All right, play me something." So he played his harmonica, and that's it. He was hired to perform with his harmonica. And then later he met the club owner, Manny Roth, and he started playing afternoon sets there as well. So he was set. Yeah. Cafe Reggio on MacDougal Street by West 3rd has been in business since 1927. Bob Dylan is said to have visited this cafe many times. We highlighted Cafe Reggio, and it's credited as the first place in the United States to serve espresso in our Street Food and Vinyl Tour video. Check it out in the link above. In front of 116 MacDougal Street, and in this basement space was the Gaslight Cafe, where Bob Dylan, performed early in his career. In fact, he has an album live at the Gaslight Cafe, 1962. Now we're in front of 110 MacDougal Street, which was the Folklore Center. And it was like a music and bookshop, and it was the center, the epicenter really, of the folk music scene. And Dylan spent a lot of time here. It was very influential. It was at the Folklore Center that owner Izzy Young introduced Bob Dylan to Dave Von Ronk, who arranged his first concert uptown at the Carnegie Hall. We're standing in front of 158 Bleecker Street, which was the Village Gate Theater, and it hosted a lot of controversial and talented names in jazz and theater and comedy and folk music. And in 1962, Dylan lived with Chip Monk in the basement of this building. And this is where he worked on A Hard Rain's Are Gonna Fall. Now we're in front of 147 Bleecker Street at the bitter end, which was a coffee house and folk folk music venue that began in 1961. And in the 1970s, Bob Dylan hung out here and he started the Rolling Thunder Review, and he also hung out here when he recorded his album Desire. Bob Dylan purchased and moved into this townhouse located at 94 MacDougal Street in 1969 with his wife and children. His move with his family from Woodstock to MacDougal Street was really surprising because this street's always busy and filled with many tourists, as you can see. After being hassled by a neighbor and fans constantly invading his privacy, he moved to Malibu, California. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and notification bell and give our video a thumbs up and share it if you liked it. You may also enjoy watching some of our other videos highlighting unique places and small businesses in New York City, including lots of food spots and vinyl record shops. If you'd like to help support our channel so we can continue highlighting these small shops, please consider a Patreon page donation, because we started a Patreon page and you get bonus perks. The support we receive through Patreon will be used to purchase a wireless microphone system to improve our audio quality and to buy some food and in-store merchandise to help support the mom and pop shops we visit. Thanks guys, and bye!
Bye guys!